Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zain, and I'm coming on to bring a very important message. Now, this message is specifically catered towards the melanated man, but obviously it's open for anyone who is ready for this type of revelation. Not saying that I'm bringing up anything new that you might not have heard before, but my dream actually gave me confirmation. So I have to tell you all about a dream that I had last night. Not everybody is going to agree with this message. Some people might even become offended by this message. So if you do, you can kindly exit. Don't even bother to leave a comment because I'm not interested in the naysayers at this point. So last night I had a dream that a romantic partner that I had in the past called me. And he called me on video chat. And he was sitting in this room on the couch. And he was pretty much pleading with me to give him another chance. And, I was telling him like, hey, I don't know about that. I'm not comfortable with it. And so an older European woman came to the doorway and she said something to him. I couldn't make out what she said, but she left back out. And then another European woman came and she made her face known in the camera. And I told him, I says, I want to talk to you in private. If we're going to have this conversation, I don't want everybody all up in my business. And so she yelled and she was like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here. And so when she got back into the camera, I noticed that she was literally half dressed. She was wearing a thong and like this lace see-through, really short skirt. And so she was walking around, prancing around, trying to, I don't know, obviously she was trying to seduce him, but it was more or less her trying to prove a point to me that she had him in her web of lust. And so more women, European women, began to come into the room and surround him. And they all started performing these very lewd sexual acts. And I told him, I says, I'm getting ready to hang up the phone. But I was like, you need to tell them to go away. But he couldn't do it. He was hypnotized. And so I hung up the phone. Now, this message is very important because I feel that what I was shown in the spiritual realm is the true nature of, or the origin of the Jezebel spirit, the lust demons that have captured the sexual energy of many of the melanated men. And as much as a lot of people might want to say, well, anyone can carry a lust demon. Yes, the energy definitely gets passed from one person to the next. So you can be of any race, creed, color, size, age, whatever, and carry that same Jezebel spirit. But the origin of where it was birthed and formed is through the European woman. If we go back in history, one thing that we know about sex, if we talk about sex in general, one thing that we know about sex is that a man is only going to do what a woman allows him to do. If the woman says, let's do this, more than likely the man is on board. If the woman says, I'm not into this, more than likely the man is going to reroute and find a way to ensure that he gets to that point of climax. And he's more than happy to engage her without performing those things that she says she's totally against. Now, the fact of the matter is, when we look back into history, we know that there was that point in time where slavery existed, and you know that the European woman was very much so captured by the genitals of the melanated man. And vice versa. The European man was definitely captured by the genitals of the melanated woman. We know this. But specifically, the melanated man, his genitals was very alluring to the European woman. And they took a lot of risk in order to get a taste of that mandingo. Now, I'm just being very, very clear with y'all. You know what it is. You know that there were a lot of lewd acts that was performed at that time because they felt like, well, this is a slave, this is an animal, so I can do what I want with him in whatever manner I want. And they did the same for the melanated woman. But the European man learned about certain sexual acts through the European woman. Because again, the man is only going to do what the woman allows him to do. And so the origin of the Jezebel spirit began with the European woman. And so fast forward, you go into the time where pornography was first started. You know, you remember the Playboy and Hugh Hefner and, you know, all of these different things that existed when pornography first began. Most of the time you saw Europeans having sex with one another, performing all types of acts with one another. That's where it began. It was not a common theme to see melanated people in pornos. I'm talking about way back when they first came out. And obviously I was not here. But if you look back into time, I'm sure that many of you can verify what I'm saying right now. And so certain sexual acts did not come into play until this spirit began to run rapid from those people who had contact with the European woman. My dream verified it because this person, their desire was to come back to be with a melanated woman. They wanted to do the right thing. They were practically pleading that I would allow them back into my energy. But this European woman refused. But see, the problem was this person, he was so hypnotized in the dream that he could have if he wanted to, but he did not stand up for himself and say, no, you will leave. No, you will not be in my energy anymore. He could have done that, but he didn't. Instead, he fell right into the trap, the entrapment of lust. And the acts that this woman began performing on the other Europeans that came in there said a whole lot, again, about this Jezebel spirit and how many of the melanated men have become fixated on this lustful energy that goes beyond the boundaries in the bedroom. We're talking about to the point where normal sex, okay, which is highly pleasurable between two spiritual people who understand what sex is all about. Normal sex is no longer satisfying enough. It's no longer driving the sexual urge of the melanated man because they've gotten too captured in the European way of fornicating. And so the Jezebel spirit is running rapid to the point where many of them are so captured by this lustful energy that they won't even stand up for themselves. A strong part of their spirit is calling them to come back home, come back to nature, get back to Mother Nature, get back to your melanated woman, get back to being disciplined again. But their sacral chakra is so overactive. They're so caught up in this energy that it's like they're weak. They're completely weakened. And this energy is going to bring a lot of the melanated men down with Babylon. As the beast of this system continues to die, know that the Jezebel spirit is the wife of that same beast that has kept this system going. Sexual energy has been a large part of their rituals for a very, very long time. Spell work has always been done, especially on the genitals of the melanated man, and that's why they cut his penis off time and time again when they were hanging and killing the melanated man. So these are the things that has continued to happen over history, but we haven't been able to see it on a deeper level because a lot of people are saying, well, maybe it's because, he's cheating or he's running rampant out here in the streets because you need to be more of a Jezebel in the bedroom. Maybe you need to try something new. Maybe you need to. But if it's stepping outside of your own moral compass And if it's taking you into playing roles that you're just not comfortable with, then all you're doing is feeding that insatiable appetite and making it, by the time you get done flipping cartwheels and doing all types of crazy foolishness in the bedroom just to appease the Jezebel spirit that's been placed on him, he's still going to go and seek out more. But now the acts that he's going to seek is even more lewd than what he, than what you call yourself stepping outside of your comfort zone to perform. He's now going to want more than that, because that's no longer going to be enough to satisfy his appetite. It's like a drug addict that goes from one hard drug to the next, seeking the thrill of what they felt when they first got introduced to that unhealthy substance. This is something that has captured the melanated man to the point where we have to step up. We got to do some spiritual work on their behalf, because while all of them are not going to be saved from this energy, some of them are so captured by this energy that they are going to get buried with it. But there are others who really are crying out for help spiritually, but they have no idea how to clear themselves of that energy because they don't realize the source of it. They don't realize where it began. And the thing is, I'll tell you this, you don't have to lay down. It's a lot of men that have never laid down with a European woman in their life that still possess the Jezebel spirit, because it was passed down from their forefathers. It was passed down from your father, your grandfather, your great-grandfather. Or it could have even jumped into your mother through rape of the European man who had also laid down with the European woman. And so that spirit has just been passed on from one person to the next. Now, am I saying that every European woman possesses this spirit? I would hope not. But I know that the origin of this spirit comes through the European woman. And so it's very important that the melanated man begins to evaluate what he finds to be pleasurable and why. Why are you drawn to that particular sexual act? Why are you so captivated by, this or that? What makes you feel like sex is at the forefront of everything for you, and that your life, you would be willing to jeopardize your entire life for the sake of getting another climax? No matter who the woman is, you'll pay a prostitute. You'll pay a stripper. You'll pay, a crackhead in the alleyway. You'll perform acts that you would never tell a soul about. What makes you get engaged to that degree? Think about it on a spiritual level. It's far deeper than what you think. And I think society has given so much praise to the freak. Oh, you a freak. Oh, you so freaky. No, what they are is lust-filled. They've been captured by the succubus Jezebel spirit. And that energy is running rampant throughout the communities, causing a lot of chaos and misunderstandings where people don't even understand what sex really is all about, causing people to commit acts that they would never tell in a soul about. These things have to be evaluated on a deeper level. So I do feel that we should do a declaration on behalf of the melanated man. And we might write, I declare and decree the destruction of the Jezebel succubus spirit, and that all soul ties connected to this entity are now destroyed in spirit and in flesh, in sleep and awakened state, across all timelines, realms, and dimensions known and unknown. We need to do this declaration to destroy this Jezebel spirit, because it's holding on very tightly to the point where this Jezebel outright looked at me in the camera and said, I'm not going anywhere. It was like she automatically knew that all she had to do was prance around a little bit and entice him into get his manhood standing up, and right then and there he was back up underneath the hypnosis of her spell, just like that, performing all types of acts that he would have to take to his grave. This is one of the major issues that's happening between the melanated man and woman, and we question, well, why haven't we been able to maintain healthy relationships? Why is there so much infidelity running, throughout these relationships? Well, it's because there's this insatiable appetite that cannot be quenched through everyday, healthy sexual encounters. Because too many of the melanated men are out here seeking a thrill that they're ashamed of. And so work needs to be done. So I call on those of you who are out there, the goddesses, even those of you who are, the gods of the melanated community. If you are a melanated man, if you are a man that has risen into your godhood and you have overcome your lustful acts or your carnal nature, then yes, we need you also to do this declaration. We can also light a candle and say, on behalf of the melanated community, we reclaim our sexual and creative energy in spirit and in flesh across all timelines, realms, and dimensions known and unknown. And we'll put that on an orange candle. So this is my message for you all. I had that dream for a reason, and while it might upset quite a few of you, as I tell you all the time, I am not here to coddle anyone's emotions. I'm used as a vessel to bring forth messages, to bring forth an understanding that can then bring forth transformation. I'm not here to be liked or to be loved by anyone, but for those of you that love me, I love you too. For those of you that appreciate my position here, I appreciate your support. But if there's anyone that's offended by this and you say, well, you're calling me this or you're saying this about this and that's not, well, create your own channel to express how you feel. Just don't put my name in it. So that's my message for you all. I love you. Leave a comment below, like and subscribe, and join us during this declaration so that we can reclaim our power and our sexual energy and destroy this Jezebel spirit that's been running rapid for far too long, especially in the melanated community. I love you all, and I'll talk to you all next time.